Oh boy. Alright, let's do this. So they announced the new variant cover for Wonder Woman 1984, and usually when I make my videos, I try to keep them on the lighter side, inject a bit of fun, some sarcasm here and there, but this time around, I'm not feeling so generous. So I'm going to be blunt. This thing looks horrible. Wonder Woman is supposed to look like this, and this is what her covers usually look like. It's almost as if there's a theme. It's like Wonder Woman is an Amazon warrior princess imbued with ungodly strength and various other superpowers who can fight toe to toe with Superman, and is pretty much the embodiment of female physical perfection. And the cover that DC decided to go with is this.
You serious?
At this point, it's pretty much clear that they're either absolutely tone deaf or are doing this just to annoy the fan base. This particular piece is drawn by Robin Eisenberg, who of course took to Twitter to respond to all the criticisms with these posts. TLDR, strength and beauty can come in lots of awesome forms. I don't think one form negates the other. Yeah, you could say that as a generic statement, but you're drawing Wonder Woman, one of the most popular characters in comic books, and there are certain criteria you have to meet.
I can say!
I'm not going to read this whole thing out. You can pause it and check it out if you want to, but it's basically the usual MO. And she ends with, the fact that this was so controversial just makes me want to continue to draw diverse body types and create more art that people can hopefully see themselves in. Interesting that she would mention body types, considering that the majority of her work features slightly overweight to overweight female bodies, and what appears to be her unique art style is a very clever way of disguising her lack of skill. Because in my humble opinion, she is unfit to draw comic books, judging by her line work and her coloring and so forth and so on. And by the way, if she wants to do an indie comic, all for it. Let her do her campaign, let her do whatever she's gonna do. But I'm sure there are a lot of talented young artists out there who could have done a much better job, but they never got the chance because they're not part of the woke crowd, which is actually pretty sad. I mean, there are so many talented people out there who could have drawn this alternative cover and would have done such a good job. Instead, for some reason, they went with this. And of course, they're hiding behind the body positivity angle. And this individual, who I'm not even going to verify if he is who he claims to be because it doesn't matter, represents everything wrong with this part of the comic book industry. He claims that the reaction to the cover is just a bunch of trolls, a small group of trolls online, and her art is inspiring.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
Okay. It's interesting that she's talking about different body types and people seeing themselves in them. Because amongst all the things she draws, she seems to favor a specific one. I wonder why. This cover couldn't possibly be a Tumblr-esque self-insert, could it? And if we're going to play these games, what about people like Ronda Rousey, who is a professional athlete, a world champion fighter? Her body type isn't realistic. Are people who work hard to maintain a fit body on a daily basis, who exercise and diet, supposed to get offended now? I also looked up the profile of this artist, and she has thousands of followers and likes, and that's all good. But I wonder how many of these people that say that this cover is stunning, brave, diverse, beautiful, and all that are going to actually go to a comic book shop and buy this, if there are any comic book shops left. I decided to click on a random person that supports this and view their profile. And even if I wanted to set something up, I couldn't have done it any better than reality just did. Looking at this profile, I started scrolling down, Guess how many comments and posts I found about the current US president and how many I found about comic books. I'm going to give you a hint. It was a lot to zero. Nada. Nothing. Not even one. And while all this is going down, DC has announced a lot of layoffs are about to happen. It's not like your boy Zach and Ethan Van Sciver have been predicting this for years, but I digress. This atrocity of a cover costs $4, which is kind of a problem, considering that right now I'm scrolling through the pages of one of the pocket books I picked up some time ago. It contains within it 194 pages of comic books. It covers Uncanny X-Men from issue 169 all the way to issue 175, and it costs £5 or $6.50. I also picked up a 3-in-1 manga, which has multiple volumes of manga in one book. And it's around 700 pages, no interruptions, no browbeating, no agenda pushing, just cool stories with interesting characters and very, very good art, might I add. And that cost me, for, again, roughly 700 pages, £10 or $15. By the way, the pocketbook has no commercials in it. It's just the comic book. And in that pocketbook are some very iconic moments like Wolverine's wedding, Rogue joining the X-Men, one of the best fights Wolverine has had with Silver Samurai. And these comic books have amazing stories in them. Again, no browbeating, no self-inserts, no agenda pushing, no insults, no making mockeries of famous iconic characters and all that. And while these people are gloating and having a ball at the expense of characters and worlds they don't care about, at the expense of the fans that have kept this going for decades, the comic book industry is quite literally dying. And at this point, the sooner that the mainstream goes, unfortunately, the better. Because while these people are doing these things and they're not selling any books, the manga called Rent a Girlfriend just released a pin-up art to celebrate 5 million copies sold. So I'm going to end this one here, and I'm going to say to you, see you in the next one. Stay safe. I mean, they couldn't. This cover doesn't even get Wonder Woman's eye color right. Her eyes are blue. Jeez, this is so stupid.